Hello. Today I want to share with you guys some advice that I have written in one of my letters about Jesus Christ, and it applies to relationships. And I feel like it'd be some good advice, I know. And yeah, so the first thing I think you should know when you're stepping into relationships is to know the Lord thy God first, and that means to put His image and likeness in a relationship and not your own. Because a lot of people will get into a relationship for their body, for their money, for their popularity, for their attention. They'll get with people for all sorts of reasons, but God's image and likeness, which is to love and be committed to them. Now, why should we love and be committed to them? Because that's what Jesus Christ was like for us. It was referring to His death on the cross. His death on the cross was of love and it was of commitment. It wasn't some temporary thing. It wasn't like, hey guys, salvation is only limited for 5 days. Come and get it now. It wasn't like that. It was permanent. And so that's the same way your relationship should be. It should be of love and of commitment, just as Christ loved and was committed to us. Secondly, no, sorry, but let God's will be done. And what that means is that I don't know how your life may be right now, but God calls people to do certain things. But a lot of people are focused on doing their own will, wanting to do their own thing, jump into marriage, jump into having kids, and then next thing you know, God's got them convicted to go out and preach or to do other things, and their life becomes complicated because they got a wife now, they got children, they're working a whole lot. So point is this: do God's will first, because it's kind of like Jeremiah in the Bible. He wasn't allowed to have a wife while in the area that he was proclaiming in and prophesying in, which was in Judah, and he couldn't have a wife, likely because God destroyed parts of Jerusalem in Judea. I mean, in Judah, because of their wickedness, and God likely would not want Jeremiah to have a wife in that type of area. But point is this: Jeremiah had to do God's will first before he could ever do his own, even if he ever did take a wife. So we got to do God's will first, and that's what we should do before we end up rushing to do our will when God has a will for us first. Third thing I want to say is search for good fruit, one that not only speaks it from their lips but through their hands. And that means I'm not saying you have to find somebody that's going to church every day. I'm not saying you have to find somebody that's reading the Bible or even going to church at all. I'm not saying you have to find anybody like that. But rather, I'm saying learn a person, learn how they talk to their mom and their dad, learn how they respond in times of hardship, learn how they deal with their sadness, what they do in their free time. Like, you just learn a person, because if you don't learn a person and you just end up jumping into a relationship because they look good, and when their beauty ain't matching their behavior, it's ruckus can occur in a relationship like that. And my like from the PC kind of shut off here, but yeah, those are just three pieces of advice I think you should take with you if you are thinking about getting in a relationship. And that is another true thing too, that a lot of people, they can see people showing complete signs of wickedness, speaking foul, being perverse and how they treat other people, and because they look good, they're gonna try to get in a relationship with them. But when their behavior doesn't match their beauty, you end up bearing their burdens on yourself, and it hurts, and that's not something that you want to go through. So I think by knowing God first, by doing His will and learning people, you have it way better off of having a good marriage and a good relationship compared to not knowing God first, putting your own image and likeness on a person, not letting His will be done, and then searching for whatever. I think that's just, you're gonna cause yourself more hurt. And is knowing the Lord thy God first and doing His will and searching for good fruit gonna find you the most perfect marriage ever? No. There's always gonna be times of hardship. There's always gonna be times where things are not so easy. But that, I would say, is better advice than just getting with anybody for whatever reason. I think there should be a reason and a purpose why you're getting with somebody rather than just, oh, they look good, you know? And yeah, the commitment thing about with Jesus and his love and commitment. A lot of people, they got these starter pack relationships. They just want these limited. They just want these little time relationships just for come and get it now. Little relationships and just break up. And that's just not how it should be. It should be it should be complete commitment to somebody, just as Christ was for us. Because it'd be kind of upsetting if Christ was like, hey guys, salvation's it's here for you for 10 days and then it's gone the next. But Christ loved us. He was committed. That's not how it is. As long as you're alive, you have the chance to be saved. And so that's just my advice for today. Amen.